Hello students, I'm Himani Sharma, your educator. I warmly welcome you all on our YouTube platform where we in today's video are going to discuss the important previous year questions which are related to deconstruction. So if you guys have watched the previous videos, we have covered deconstruction as the introduction. What is it? What are the goals? What are the major aims? The theorists who are associated with that. We have also covered the major theorists along with their major works, their major books that they have penned down, and also the concepts which are related to this particular school known as deconstruction in the previous videos. Correct? So now today is the time for me to test all of yours knowledge, that how much have you guys gained from the previous videos that we have covered, the concepts, theories, books, etc. Some things will be new here just to give you an extra sort of knowledge that is required, because these are all the previous year questions related to the school of deconstruction. So the approach, first of all, before we directly jump onto the questions, I would like to tell you how should you guys be approaching these questions. So I'll be showing you guys 5 questions time and again, one by one. One thing which is important from this thing is that you guys pause the screen to read the question properly. Correct? You can also note things down on your piece of paper wherever you're making notes to understand what was there, what new you have learned, and also pause the screen and then play it again to see what the answer was, because I'll be reading the question, waiting for some mini seconds and then moving on to or jumping onto the answer. So you'll not get the time, you'll directly be seeing the answer. So if you want to read and comprehend the question properly, to be disciplined and that much, diligent enough to read the question and try to answer on your own, for your own sake as well. So please pause the video and then, correct? So the first question that I have is that there are multiple terms which are here and you are supposed to relate and find the description of the terms from the codes that are there. So first pause your screens. Right, and then move forward with the code that is there. Whatever you feel is the right one. Correct? So the right answer to this question according to the code that is there is option C. It's option C, that A4B3, A4B3 intertextuality with Christiva, C1 ho gaya, then heteroglossia is with Mikhail Bakhtin. So ambiguity, what does the word mean? A term made famous by William Emerson, and this word has been asked multiple times separately as a question. It has been asked like in which book this term has been coined. So it has been coined in the book by Emerson named 7 Types of Ambiguity, right? To indicate that a word, phrase or text can be interpreted in more than one way. In more than one way. Correct? So ambiguous ending hoti hai ya ambiguous word hota hai. So it can mean different meanings. That is what Emerson has tried to talk about in his work, 7 Types of Ambiguity, coining the term ambiguity. Correct? Then we have aporia. If you would have seen the previous lectures, even in pro-structuralism or deconstruction, you will be aware of this term. This term was given by Derrida to talk about what? To talk about the irresolvable internal contradiction or logical disjunction in a text, usually associated with the deconstructive thinking. So majorly, which is the theorist that it is associated with? It is associated with Jacques Derrida. Correct? He says that there is always, if you are reading a text, there will be doubts and doubts which will be there. Or wo irrevocable honge ya irresolvable honge. Correct? Then we have intertextuality. That is a term which is coined by Julia Kristeva multiple times separately as a question from the term has been asked to refer to the fact that texts are constituted by a tissue of citations. She says that there is no text which is only and only based on new, for its matter. If you say that I have written a book in the year 2023, you would have been influenced by multiple writers, you would have read some works, etc., which would have influenced you. So that is what she says, that something new is always and always not delivered, but it is something which has already been written. It is cited in the past. That is intertextuality, that every text is interrelated. Correct? Heteroglossia, a term used by Mikhail Bakhtin to describe the variety of voices and languages within a novel. So I hope these things are clear and your answer was right. Then we have the next question. Which of the following in Jacques Derrida's epigraph to his structure, sign and play in the discourse of human sciences is there? इनमें से कौन सा उनका epigraph है? The answer, again, pause the screens first of all. The answer to this question is option B. We need to interpret interpretations more than to interpret things. He gives us Michel de Montaigne, he coins, he takes this line from Montaigne and he gives and uses it as an epigraph to his work Structure, Sign and Play in the Discourse of Human Sciences, which was published in the year 1966, mind you guys. And what do we mean by this? Because we know post-structuralism or deconstruction as a school was challenging the theories which the structuralists had. So the things here he is referring to the structures that are made. He says that we need not, interpret the structures which are there, but rather what has been written in the language form, how things are moving forward, that is what we need to interpret, rather than interpreting the things which are there, the things, the structures, etc., which are already there. Or वो structures भी they say that they are not even one at all, at all universal. They are multiple. So we need to interpret what is there in the text. Now let's just say if you are reading some book and some person has given a critical analysis on that, if you are a researcher, you will read that critical analysis for reference, but you will also present your point of view. So interpretations बनते जाते हैं, but you are not much and more concerned about only एक ही structure में मुझे चलना है, which has already been established. No, that is not the case. That's why this quote has been taken up as an epigraph to his work. Next question. Derrida's American disciples were. I have tried to give you a brief hint of this question in the previous videos where we were discussing about the major theorists. So I hope you guys know the answer to this one. The answer to this question, you can pause the screens. The answer to this question is option A, that is Geoffrey H. Hartman, Paul Deman and J. Hillis Miller. These three are the figures which were associated with what school? They were associated even with the Yale school, including Harold Bloom as well. But Harold Bloom majorly, deconstruction के साथ, he is not associated majorly with. So these were the three American disciples of. They might be born in some other country, but they later on shifted to America as well. That's why some के साथ ये भी लगता है कि Belgian born or France born, etc., and then moved to America and all. Correct? So these three were the people who are associated with their own selves being the American disciples of Derrida. They were using the thinking, the thought processes of Derrida, the ideas that he gave related to deconstruction in their works. Then we have identified the two important works of Paul Deman from the following list. The answer to this question, first of all, pause your screens. The answer to this question is option A, that is A and B. Blindness and insight, we have discussed it in the major theorists wali video. Allegories of reading, both these works with their subtitles have been discussed. So you can refer to that video again if you have missed that. Correct? These two are the correct options. So option A is the right one. The last question for today is that which of the following thinker and concept pair is correctly matched? Very easy question. The answer to this question is, of course, Jacques Derrida, who is associated with the school of deconstruction. So option C is the correct answer. Correct? So I.A. Richards is associated with practical criticism. Then we have Terry Eagleton. He is not associated with psychological criticism. Not at all, but rather some sort of Marxist point of view he has. Correct. So this was that I wanted you all to practice certain questions from the previous years, and I hope they gave you some new things also to consider, some things we have considered and talked about in the previous videos related to deconstruction as well. Correct. So I'll bring some new theory in the upcoming videos. Till then, you guys keep on studying. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye-bye.